Good morning, everyone. This is Jamie from Okie Soap Shop, www.okiesoapshop.com. This is my first video. I'm going to be making pumpkin patch soap. I'm going to be using real pumpkin and a wonderful buttery pumpkin-y fragrance oil. This is one of my best sellers. Previously, when I sold under the name of Jamie's Country Soaps. I don't have a tripod, so this isn't going to be the best of videos. So I will be taking a little, pausing a little, and try to keep it moved around where you can see what I'm doing. But what I've done here is my soft oils. I've got my cocoa butter melting. I will add it shortly. But I put some Tangerine Wow oxide colorant from Brambleberry in to my oils, and I'm going to mix that and see if I need to add any more. I've added a 1/4 teaspoon right now. I'm going to go ahead and mix that into my oils and see what it looks like. Because this is the only colorant I'm using, I won't need to mix it later. I can go ahead and mix it in with my oils, and that way we can be sure that it's incorporated really good. And I don't know if it's going to really work because the pumpkin fragrance that I'm using does this color, and I'm using real pumpkin in it. This is just an experiment, and it looks like I'm going to add a little bit more colorant. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I have added another 1/4 teaspoon of the colorant, and I'll get that blended in with the oils and see what it looks like. Bit on the side of the bowl there. I'm trying to scrape it down in. Of course, as soon as I get my lye water mixed in here, I may need to put a little bit more colorant in, but we'll determine that in a little bit. Alright, going to pause you again. As I said earlier, I don't have a tripod, so I can't just keep it playing. I have to pause it, set it down, and go do my other things, but I'll be right back. Okay, my cocoa butter is melted. It is right here, and I do not use deodorized cocoa butter because I like the scent of the chocolate, and I just like the more natural state. It does have a nice chocolate scent, but I've never noticed it coming through in any of my soaps, and I've made a lot with it. I do use a high percentage of cocoa butter. My soaps are 15% cocoa butter, and that makes a very nice soap. I love the way cocoa butter feels on the skin, but I'm going to go ahead and pour the cocoa butter in here. And that'll be all my oils. I'm just waiting for the oils and the lye water to come to about 90 degrees, 90 to 100 degrees, and then I will add the lye and get the rest of the process going. Okay, I'm going to put this camera down, pause it for a minute. I'm going to check my temperatures and see how things are going. Be back in a minute. Now, while I'm waiting for my lye water to continue cooling down, I wanted to show you my mold. This is a Brambleberry silicone loaf mold. It's 10 inches. I usually get about 8 bars out of it because I cut my bars pretty thick. I like them to last a little longer. I love this mold. It's silicone. I've never had any trouble with anything sticking, knock on wood. I don't have to grease it. I don't have to line it. The sides of the bars are so pretty when they come out. And then over here I have got my pumpkin puree, my heavy cream, and my fragrance oil that I'm going to be adding a little later. I'll add the heavy cream and the pumpkin puree at emulsion. And then when I get to trace, I'm going to go ahead and add my fragrance oil. Then I will be pouring it in the mold. I don't think I'll be able to hold the camera while I'm pouring it into the mold. If I can, I will. If this video ever makes it to YouTube, I'll use my son's tripod next time. Not sure that I'm going to like listening to my voice, but I know the tripod will make a much better video. I won't have to hold it, I won't have to keep turning it off. Here's my oils getting ready, and I've got my lye water sitting in the sink, trying to cool it down a little bit. The temperature right now is 160 degrees, so it's still quite hot. Okay, so I've got my lye water and my soaping oils to 100 degrees each. So I'm going to go ahead and pour my lye water in. Give it a little stirring with the spoon, and then I'm going to put my stick blender in. Okay, I've got it emulsified, so I'm going to go ahead and put my pumpkin in. I'll attempt to do this as much as possible on camera, and it's not going to work very well. I'm going to have to put the camera down for a minute and use my spatula and scrape it into there. Be right back. Okay, so I've got my pumpkin in there. So I'll go ahead and blend that in. And I'm sorry if the camera's all bouncy. Not the easiest thing to do without a tripod. Of course, like I said, my son has one, but you can't find anything in his room. You can see a little bit of texture of the pumpkin in there. I love the way the pumpkin makes the soap feel whenever you're washing with it. Gives it a different texture. Not to mention the fact that it is very good for your skin. Okay, that is beginning to show signs of a light trace. I'm going to go ahead and put my stick blender down here. And I have warmed my heavy cream up just a little bit. Go ahead and dump that in. I haven't done this way before, so we're going to see what happens. But doesn't that look good? Kind of looks like it tastes good. Looking pretty. Yeah, I can see a light trace on there. I don't know if you can see the trail. There you go. It's getting a little thicker and a little thicker. That cream probably had something to do with that. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and put my fragrance oil in. Now it's really looking and smelling like it tastes good. go ahead and stir this really, really good, and then I will pour it in my mold. I'm going to put this down just a little bit so that I can stir and make sure that I've got it really good and incorporated. Okay, so I've got it really nice and incorporated, and I do apologize, I do not wear gloves. I have psoriasis and it really bothers my skin to have those hot gloves on there. But you really should wear gloves if you're making soap. I'm sorry, that was a bad shot. Like I said, it's kind of hard to do this one-handed. I do have two hands, really, but that is so pretty. The color is beautiful. I don't know if it's going to stay this way. I'm going to go ahead and put the camera down for a minute so that I can scrape all of this good stuff into the mold, and I will be back shortly. Okay, so I'm back. I've got it all packed in there, and it made an awful lot of soap. I did increase the recipe size by 1 ounce because I like it to come all the way to the top. Although it does tend to push it out just a bit, but that doesn't matter. Okay, so I have been watching all these wonderful soap videos, excuse me, where they do all this really pretty stuff with their soap. So, I'll attempt that. I know mine's not going to look anything like anybody else's, but I will give it a try, and it's firming up nicely. I did leave a spoon the rest of the stuff onto the top in the middle. And I apologize again if you cannot see very well what I'm doing here. You know, it might even be pretty to put a little bit of cinnamon sprinkles on the top of this. Just sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon on top, just for the look. It's kind of pretty. Kind of pretty. Wondering if I should just keep it like this or do something else to it. Kind of, if that's enough playing around. I think that's probably enough playing around. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab some cinnamon, sprinkle on the top just for the pretty look of it. Alright, so I've sprinkled just a little bit of cinnamon on the top. That won't stick around in the soap very long. It'll pretty much rinse off pretty quickly, which is good because cinnamon might irritate your skin a little bit. Now that's going to make you not want to buy this soap, but trust me, it'll be fine. Some people do put cinnamon in their soaps for a little bit of a neat look in their soap, especially if it's a cinnamon scented soap. And anyway, there we go. There is my pumpkin patch soap. I think it looks awful pretty. I'm going to go ahead and put this camera up, and I will come back and show you the soap as I've cut it. Thank you very much, and y'all have a good afternoon.